In this video, I'm going to be showing you the parts for my new build. What I'm doing is replacing my old Corsair Air 540, which was a pretty good case, but it didn't end up being as water cooling friendly as I expected. The parts are going into my Fractal Design S, which you may have seen in my earlier video that I did a review of. A much more water cooling friendly case. So here we go. Let me show you what work I'm going to do. This is the Define S from Fractal. It's a great case. It's an inexpensive case. Only $89 for the windowed version, and it's very water cooling friendly. It's essentially a big blank slate for me to do water cooling in. Pretty nice, not too expensive, not the best build quality, but I think it'll do well. This is my old motherboard. Been going on 3 years now with the ASRock Z77 Extreme 4. I have to say I probably won't be buying ASRock stuff in the future. This motherboard misreports voltages. I know it misreports voltages, I've tested it, and that's enabled me to sort of pay attention to my overclock, keep it within reason, and just understand that the voltages that the board is giving me are not true, and it's actually running a little higher voltages than it says it is. So I've had this thing at 4.4 gigahertz going on 3 years now, pretty much 24/7, so I can't complain too much about the performance. It's got such an ugly brown PCB. Oh well. What I really need to show you though is my XSPC water block. I'm not even taking it off the board, it's going straight into the new build. It's the XSPC Raystorm. It's a really good performing water block. I will say that installation of the Raystorm is just terrible, and I wish XSPC would take some notes on the way EK's blocks install and make that their new standard. But in any event, once you get it on there, it performs really well. It's not too expensive and it looks pretty nice. It has a couple LEDs you can stick in the side to give it a nice glow. All in all, it's been pretty good. This is my GPU, an old standby, the 7950. I have to say I'm still gaming at 1080p, so I'm not really sure today you really need a whole heck of a lot more than this for 1080p gaming. I love this EK water block. It is fabulous. I think this backplate looks so good. It goes good with the weird blue PCB that Gigabyte has. It's full cover on the back. You look. I got this for like $50 for the water block and backplate on eBay. So that was just extraordinary. But look at that thing. It's pretty awesome. Part of the reason I'm maybe not so quick to upgrade is just that I have such a cool looking thing already. I'm sure I can get a cool looking EK water block for a nice new 980 Ti. Yeah, like my wife's going to allow that. Anyway, here's one of my favorite pieces of kit that I have. This is a pump reservoir combo. It's a D5 from XSPC with their Photon 170 reservoir. The bottom part's maybe a little ugly. I'd like to get a kit. I know they have kits for D5s that are much better looking. They're chrome. They don't have this ugly black plastic ring around the bottom that I'm pointing at. Woof. But the quality of this thing and the quiet operation are just phenomenal. I mean, it's made of heavy glass. It has that glass tube in the middle that you can stick an LED up into and give it a nice glow. It's just so high quality, so well made, and D5 pumps are just awesome as far as pumping a large volume of fluid, but being nice and quiet. These are the fans I use. Like most people who build computers, I've accumulated just stacks of fans. I have to admit, it's kind of cheesy, but my number one concern was getting blue LED fans. So I went with these Cougar fans. They're good, they're quiet, good static pressure, they push a lot of air, and they have a good blue glow to them. They were on sale at Newegg when I got them for like $13. So I have some other really good fans. I mean, these 140 Corsairs that have really never been used. I think they came with the Air 540 and I just never used them. Geez, I have a lot of Corsair fans. So it's just something you build up over time. When I used to air cool, I used these on my my Cooler Master 212 Evo. So got a lot of choices, but I'll go with the blue LEDs. This is a bad cameraman who puts his shadows all over the product. But this is the NZXT Grid Plus. It is a fan controller. You can plug 6 fans into it, and you can use Velcro to stick it in the back of your case in a hidden spot. And with the software it comes with, you can have your temps and control your fans and everything with software. It's really great, and I picked it up at Micro Center for like 25, 30 bucks, cheap. These are my old fittings. They're XSPC Black Sparkle, and they've been good, and they're not bad fittings, but I'm really just going for a new look. The reason I have so much XSPC stuff is because when I started water cooling, I went with a kit. XSPC makes great kits. You get all XSPC stuff, which most of it is very high quality, and you get a good discount if you start with a kit. I recommend it for beginners out there. But I want a chrome look, so I am going on this new build with monsoon fittings. These are monsoon fittings that I'm going with, free center compression fittings. These are awesome fittings. They look so cool. I'm going with shiny chrome because that's just, I've been itching to make everything chrome. I just like how it looks. I like it better than the black sparkle. I bought 6 of those in a kit. I bought a couple extra because I knew I'd need more than 6. The other thing I bought is a selection of Bits Power fittings, angled fittings, rotary fittings. Not a big selection. I think I bought 3. Bits Power makes the best of those. They look great. My one criticism of Bits Power is that they're fanatical about putting their logo on everything. They have a cool sort of dragon logo you can see on those bags, but every single fitting they make is stamped with that logo. So I think this new stuff is going to be a nice upgrade. The other thing with monsoon fittings is they come with a tool that keeps you from destroying your hand. XSPC fittings just kill your hands, hurt when you're done installing them. For tubing, I already have the same stuff I used before. I still have some left over. It is Primo Chill's Advanced LRT. It's among the best tubing. I have here some of the additives that you put in the water. I am using colored tubes with distilled water. Now I will say that there's nothing wrong with using colored fluid, especially as long as you make sure to get good stuff like Mayhem's. There's a lot of know-it-alls on the internet who say, oh, you can't use colored fitting, it'll gum up your water blocks. That's garbage. It's not true. But I'm going to use distilled water and just a little additive and colored tubing just because it's simpler to me than having coolant shipped to me pre-made from somewhere. I think Mayhem's is in England. I'm sure they have a US distribution, obviously through Performance PCs. But this Advanced LRT tubing is good stuff. It's probably the best flexible tubing. The other upgrade I'm doing is some cabling. These are cable extensions from BitPhoenix Alchemy. I'm going with white because I think white will pick up the light coming from the blue LEDs inside my case. I think they'll just look sharp. You know, cabling is one of the most important things you can do to get your computer looking good. The kit came with a 24-pin and 8-pin and 2 6-pins for the GPU. Double check if your GPU might use something different than what comes in the case. This is the radiator I already had in my old system, the XSPC AX240 with a couple Zinrulian XSPC fans. Again, it was part of that kit. You'll see on here a strange thing. My blue LEDs in my old build sort of touched the radiator and they've discolored it. I don't really care that much because it's going to go in the top of the case and really not be visible. So, not really a problem. The Zinrulian fans have been good. They've been doing well. They're 1650. Yeah, I could go with a little bit slower fan probably and get it even a little quieter. But I'm running them darn near around 40% most of the time anyway, even with my overclock, so it's not a big deal. The thing I'm adding to this build is a matching fan. I'm not able to get the box open right now, but it's the same exact thing. It's the AX series, but this is a 360 fan, or excuse me, a 360 radiator. So that's going to go in the front of the Define S. with 3 of those Cougar blue LED fans on it. I think it's going to look really sharp and give me some more cooling power. What you're seeing right now, it looks like an earthquake hit it. This is the PC Hype office. It's pretty much a disaster. I had to tear everything apart. I had to stop playing Valkyria Chronicles. I had to tear everything apart during the Steam sale in order to get this new build put together. It's pretty much a big mess. But I have a couple days in a row with nothing to do that I can work on this. And hey, when you're a PC builder, it's not just money, it's also time. Some of this stuff is very time consuming. It's a lot of fun and we all love it, but you have to have the money and the time to do it. So I started going through and getting the Design S ready. You see, Fractal gives you 2 pretty nice looking fans, and I think I've read somewhere that they're pretty well performing fans too, but they just don't fit into my color scheme. I'm not sure. I guess they're just going to go in the stack of fans for the future. So here's my build. I'm running a leak test now of the water cooling unit, so everything is unplugged except the pump. And I'm just running it, testing it for leaks, getting the air bubbles out of it. It usually takes a while of running to get the air bubbles out. I'm not thrilled with how this looks. I hate the way the tubing crosses over at the water block. The way XSPC positions the in and out. Although yes, I could turn it over and it would solve that problem. See, the BitPhoenix Alchemy cable extensions look good. One thing you will notice though is buying the 8-pin extension is a complete waste of money because you can't see it. It's hidden behind the top radiator. You can see my shiny chrome fittings, I think look fantastic. This is a pretty short-term thing though. In August I am going to Skylake. I'm going to be getting a different motherboard and I'm going to be getting Skylake. So all of this is coming out. So this will really only serve me for a few months. So I'm not that worried about the looks, even though I'm sharing it with you all on YouTube. So that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. Please subscribe, like, and favorite PC Hype, and look forward to more videos in the future.